Welcome to the Infill Podcast, where we interview the most interesting members of the 3D printing and maker communities, live and with audience participation. And now, here is your host, Jonathan Levy.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome, and pardon the mess. We have a really exciting episode today, and I just haven't had a chance to clean up. Today, we are joined once again by my friend and fellow content creator, Jerry Gomes. I believe you pronounce it. Jerry, how are you?
Correct. Hey, good. Thank you for having me back. And that's correct. Everyone always says Gomes or something else, but yeah, thank you. It's good to be back. The first episode, it was an event.
So it was an event. Last time we had some major issues with your Wi-Fi and my Wi-Fi and all the Wi-Fis. For those who don't know, by the way, Jerry is a fellow content creator. He runs the Print House. Really quickly, before we dive too deep into the episode, I do want to thank one of our episode sponsors, which is Octo Everywhere. And I want to show you guys something with the Octo Everywhere What's Printing Jonathan segment, except I don't actually have anything printing right now because I've been on vacation. But I want to show you guys the coolest part about Octo Everywhere. It's not the web dashboard that I show you guys every week. The coolest part is you see this printer, Sailfish SV08 Ace. Octo Everywhere gives me a special link, an obscured link. I'm not going to show it to you guys, but this shared link right here, I add it as if it's the IP address. And then I don't need to worry about printing stuff during the day. Whoa, I'm going to have to change that link. Crap. I just showed it on screen. I'm going to have to delete it. But what I can then do is I can, access my printer remotely. And what that also means is I can print directly from Octo Everywhere remotely. So I'm going to go change that link before someone else starts to control my printer. But thank you, Octo Everywhere. And you guys get a $25 free credit, which should buy you a few months of premium. It is free to use. You can use your first printer completely free at octoeverywhere.com. Use my link in the description so they know I sent you. All right. Sorry about that, Jerry. And sorry about that, Sailfish, because you are now exposed and vulnerable to the entire internet. So while I fix that, Jerry, tell us what's been going on, man. You have had a lot going on in your life recently. Fill us in, man. You've been busy. I've been worried about you having a mental breakdown, if I'm honest.
I think everyone thinks I'm gonna have a mental breakdown, and I mean, there's a little bit, in my head that's like, oh wow, how are you still going? I need to slow down. So about a year ago, maybe a little more, we moved to the new studio because 3D printing needed more space. And somehow I was able to convince my wife of that, but it worked. So when we got in, so the new studio has 3 separate rooms. It's the second floor of our home. But it's roughly 800 square feet. I have so much more space. It's so much easier. I mean, I have regularly been running from room to room, working on like 3 projects at once. It's probably not the right way I should do that, but focus on one project at a time. But no, it's great. It's really great. I've got different rooms I can record in. So if I'm printing in one room, I don't have to worry about audio being obscured. So that's actually one of my favorite things about having 3 separate rooms in the studio.
Right. How did you go about planning the studio? Because this is something I just showed you off camera or off stream. Like, I've been working really, really hard on redesigning this whole space. Basically everything, every other wall and every other side of the studio, except what you guys see, is all new. And I actually brought in a friend who's an interior designer, and she gave me some amazing ideas. But I know you're an engineer as well. You're a professional engineer. So how did you go about designing a workspace that suits everything you need? And what's perfect is we have a question in the comments. I just got a new house yesterday. Any recommendations on my 3D printing room? So it's actually very pertinent to our audiences. And then I'll be happy to share my thoughts on it. But I think you and I are a little bit different because you and I are also filming everything we're doing in the 3D printing room.
Yeah, I think well, yeah, and I think filming definitely lends itself to a little bit different, right? Like, you have to have a background and a set that's like kind of visually appealing in just a standard, like I don't want to say consumer home, but in a standard user's home,
Right.
maybe more function is what's important, and it doesn't matter what it looks like. Um, so for me, what the heck did I do? Well, I wish there's a lot that needs to be done. There's so much, and if I like pan the camera at the printing areas, it would be so bare. But your setup looks it's insane.
Thank you,
It
man. It
really
has
is.
been a massive journey, 6 months basically, and I do have to thank Jonathan at Keep Making because I couldn't have afforded to spend the time if he hadn't said, "Hey, we'll sponsor a video where all you do is redesign your studio." Like, I'll pay you
Oh,
what a normal sponsor would pay so that you can have the time to do it. So I'm super
oh,
grateful to him. Yeah. Yeah, really
yeah.
amazing of him to support other creators. You know what I think is interesting is as you were talking, I was thinking like as well for let me get this person's name. Van Deathheart. Somehow I don't think that's his given name. I think it also depends, like, are you just 3D printing or do you want to build 3D printers and fix 3D printers? Because
Oh
if
yeah.
you're just 3D printing, which is what I thought I was going to do most of in this space, do the classic like they do in a NASCAR garage or in a Formula One garage, like perimeter, sorry for my hands, perimeter all the way around the room of tables, 60 centimeters deep at least.
Yeah.
And then you have as much workspace as possible while having, as much room for activities in the middle. But I had this epiphany in the shower, I think today, where I was like, if you're actually working on printers and not prints and building printers, what you actually want is 360 axis tables. So you want the opposite. You want a kitchen island setup. And I know Joel does this where he built a big table that he can move. I was like, I kind of did this wrong, because most of my table space I can't walk around. So I end up turning the printers.
So the funny thing is that you mentioned that. Well, it's not even funny at all because that's like so true. And so I've got 3 rooms. Uh, one of my rooms has that setup. And do you
Oh,
want to know
snap.
what? When I build printers, guess where I am? I'm in
In
that
there.
room.
Yeah.
Yep. And being able to access all sides of that island table is absolutely it's so valuable because
Right.
I mean just from getting angles or like angles to screw a screw in, or if a machine is too heavy you don't want to move it because you might jostle things around, or
Right.
if it's plugged in, so many reasons. But 100%, yeah,
It's so much. I
it's
spend so much time like tilting the machines and lifting it and da da da.
oh my gosh,
The other
yeah.
thing I
And
realized was like tool space. So not just utilizing wall space, which I think is super important, whether you're going to put filament up there or tools like, my whole walls, everything is covered in multi-board, but also, I mean, spoiler alert, right? I've covered the fronts of my tables and the backs of my tables. Live stream here, I can take the table, pull off the thing, and it's basically like it's a vertical tool cart, right? So think
oh
about
my
like
gosh.
how can you design stuff in such a way that you have all your tools where you want and not on your workspace?
Yeah, and so that was one thing that I tackled, and I really do want to get a multi-board setup on the wall, or like again, I'm with you. Like the time commitment is so significant,
Right,
especially because I have a full-time job. But
right.
so at the moment, what I have done is I've taken I don't even know how tall it is. It's 70 inches or whatever that translates to in other units. It's a vertical tool
Big.
cart. It's taller than it's as tall as me.
Wow.
We'll just say that it's at least as tall as me, and it's just a tool cart that you'd see in a garage, but instead it's loaded from bottom to top. Every square inch has tools in it or something. And
Yeah.
for me, the place that I came from, I had 1 by 1 by 1 cubes that I just had stuff thrown in.
Oh man.
There was no organization. They were all floppy because they were like cloth. It was terrible. And I was using that up until 3 months ago. And like, I dare I say I do 3D printing like semi professionally.
You know, you
And
just
that's what
gave
I
me
was
an
using.
idea and realization as well, where I was thinking, like, as you were talking, I realized I had this kind of like negative emotional reaction to the word tool cart because I have that. You see this here, this tool
Oh
cart
yeah,
that's
yeah.
always in the way. And in theory, what you think to yourself is all my tools are going to be in one place. I can roll it around. I've maybe rolled it around once. Most of the
Oh
time, I
yeah.
end up just because there's tripods and stuff in the way. I ended up just going back and forth. And what I've started doing, I can't show you guys because that's a spoiler, but is I just the fortunate thing about 3D printing is the tools we use are cheap, right? Snips, cheap.
Hmm.
Deburring tool, cheap. A couple hex drivers, cheap. Maybe like a couple Gridfinity rulers, you know? Like nothing's
Ooh.
expensive. I don't need two hammer drills and five disc cutters
No.
and whatever.
No.
So I've just started, you know, it's like $25 for a full setup of all this stuff, and I've just started putting them everywhere I might want to be. So I have one in the live streaming setup, one there, one in the print farm, one, and it's like,
100%.
and so what I'm leaning towards is screw the tool cart. I think I might just get rid of the tool cart and put all the tools on the wall, because as opposed, that's so annoying. Someone changed my Makita battery. Speaking of tools, to sing when it's fully charged. Don't know why. Uh, And what I'm now thinking is like, do I want to take up this much space all the way up my wall, or do I want to take whatever that is, half a meter by 75 centimeters of my floor space, which is precious, you know? I
Yeah,
might be
and
printing more multi-board.
so I do that also because my it's great. Like, it's like we're as creators, we all like an idea that's good for one person is good for some, like good for other
Right,
people, and so that's exactly what I do because I mean I have so many tools and I am in three different rooms. It's not like I have three setups in the same general
right.
area with three tables. In I just have to. So in every room, I try to keep two sets of snips, and then I try to keep some hex wrenches as
Hmm.
well. The
Yeah,
hex wrenches are a little more difficult because I'm a little snob and I want some nicer hex wrenches, and it's hard to keep that around. But
yeah.
um,
I
and
have a
then
really nice set, and then most of them are just these junk ones from AliExpress. Yeah,
yeah. Well, I try to keep that in every room, and then bed adhesion.
yeah.
I will swear by Aquanet on my build plates,
Okay.
and so I use Aquanet, but I pair it with the nanopolymer. But so I try to keep at least one of everything in each room. This way, I'm not
That's
going
yeah.
back and forth. And I still there's always something I need, but
Yeah.
um, I mean
Yeah,
a
you've got me
trash
thinking.
can.
You got me thinking for sure. Huh. Uh, by the way, you just got back from Rapid. Tell me about
Yes.
that. What was that like?
Okay. So it's not the first time I've been to Rapid. It's the second time, and it was definitively better this time. Like both events were good, but this was like I don't know. It was something else. Um, it's like always I don't know 60% industry, 40% consumer, and
That's
it's
pretty good.
everything from yeah. And I mean it really is because uh you can go and you can spend it's only open for 2.5 days basically, so
Oh wow.
you could spend the whole time looking at consumer grade stuff, and then if you have free time you could go walk around and look at other stuff, but there's enough stuff that I am like using every day that I could spend a long
Wow.
time looking at it.
Huh.
But what's the most interesting thing to me is not unless someone is showcasing new tech. Obviously, that's most interesting. But if no one has new tech, the most interesting thing is looking at the industry when they've supersized the stuff that we're using. And
Right.
I mean, we're talking like meter cubed 3D printers running Clipper. Like,
No, no way.
I mean,
That's pretty cool.
who does that say something about Clipper, or does that say something about the manufacturer for not writing their own firmware? I don't know. I think it says something about Clipper
For a long time, they
personally.
were all using on the manufacturing side. They were all using Duet, as far as I know, and RepRap firmware as well. But that's
So
pretty
there
cool.
are a ton. I'd say the manufacturers that are using Clipper on these industry wide machines is smaller, but it is not like zero. Especially like Mingda, for instance. Mingda, I had a Magician 2 or something, whatever they call their thing, their 3D
Right.
printer, and it had some pretty good firmware. I mean, this goes back like 3 years ago, but it had pretty good firmware. It was not Clipper, but they're not showcasing consumer grade products. They were showcasing products for industry, and it has that very obvious looking Clipper screen on it, and the machine stands a foot and a half taller than me, and I walk up to it and I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like, I
That
don't
is
know what
pretty
I would
cool.
do with it.
What are some other
I
like
guarantee
really
you I could use
crazy
it.
things that you saw?
So, from industry, there's robotic arms printing aerospace parts, but
Cool.
maybe not the way you think. So, uh, one machine, robotic arm, obviously pellet fed. It had a 12 millimeter nozzle. 12 millimeters. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if it's printing huge stuff, that makes
Well,
sense.
so it absolutely gigantic, and the layer lines are fat. But what they do after the fact is they don't just leave. They don't print these parts and just strap it to an airplane, right? These
Right.
parts are printed, and then they go back through a subtractive manufacturing process. They're fully milled down to be precise sizes, and then they're laminated. And
They're
and
metal or plastic?
plastic,
Interesting.
plastic.
Huh.
And so the laminations, and this is kind of gets out of my realm. I think the laminations are actually separated and used as like molds,
Hmm.
but I'm sure depending on your industry, you could laminate it and just use that component depending on your material.
Wow. That's
Um,
pretty wild.
but yeah,
Um,
it's nuts.
which consumer companies were there? I haven't checked, to be honest.
Yeah, so the big ones, Creality, Elegoo, Bamboo Lab, and then there's some other smaller booths. Or well, Revo Point was there. They did 3D scanning. For those of you that
Cool.
don't know, Bondtech was there. I'm not sure if Bondtech actually is a is Bondtech specifically consumer, or do they? Because
I think they're kind of like Slice. They supply, their parts
that's
work on
what
industrial, they work on
I
non-industrial.
thought.
Actually, MLV just asked, all I care about is what do you guys think about the Bondtech Index?
Okay. And the Bontech Index was at Rapid. Okay, that was the
So cool.
only thing they were showcasing, and it was
Of
it
course, yeah.
was mounted to a V0, a Voron V0, and I got anyone that was there. This is interesting. Anyone that was there got a little bit of inside ball that they didn't necessarily want people to. I don't know. That was odd. So, but what I can tell you 100% is that on a V0, it was either 4 or 5 tools that was attached to it, and the tool is the size of a pen. I'm serious. It is the
Wow.
size of a pen, and what I was thinking was it was gonna work like the Prusa XL. There was gonna be a gantry that slides over, it attaches to a full size tool head, and then it takes that thing off and then goes and prints with it.
No.
Not what it does at all. Like, I
And
looked at yeah.
yeah, I mean, you've seen it in person. I haven't, but go ahead.
So I looked at all of the advertising online, but I could not get a grasp for what it was doing. But the what it was so obvious when it was there. It literally just picks up a nozzle. It's not and what the gentleman that was running the booth, I said change the tool, and he was like, I said that multiple times because that's what drilled into my head. And he's like, he corrected me every time. He's like, we're not changing tools, we're
Right.
changing nozzles. We're
Right.
changing nozzles, and that's
Right.
it. It
It's so what that I mean, I'm sure many people have had this idea, but no one's figured it out. What's genius about it, number one, is that they're I think they're using like kind of a dual gear setup on both sides of the filament, and it can just snap over the filament from both sides. There's probably some mechanism
oh
that's moving the gears, but the filament stays there. right? So,
Mm.
which is genius. And the other thing that's very smart is they've done kind of like a bamboo A1 type hot end or H2D hot end where the heating element is actually separate from the heatsink. Doesn't need to be fixed, so it just comes into contact. Uh,
Yeah.
which by the way is why it needs that 4 seconds to heat up after it switches. So it is, I guess the downside is it's technically going to be a lot slower than a tool changer because it switches, heats for 4 seconds, and then starts printing. But still, I mean,
So, but you get into a realm of like even even like 4 seconds. By the way, to heat up was it was shockingly fast. It might
right?
not be 4 seconds. It might be less than 4 seconds.
Maybe.
It picked up it picked up the tool and then it started printing almost immediately. And I was like, or sorry, it picked up the nozzle, whatever. It started printing almost immediately. And I asked the guy, I was like, how did it heat up? Like, why is it printing already? And he's like, it just heats up so quickly.
Yeah.
It just heats up that fast. And
Well, you're all you need
so,
to do is transfer, heat from the. I mean, because again, the how do I say this? The heating element is staying and it's staying hot. So
yeah,
really, all you
yeah,
need to do is heat the nozzle.
exactly. And so, in a normal setup, it takes so long, or I shouldn't even say so long these days with ceramic heaters, but it takes so long to heat your nozzle up because the actual heater is like that's none of that's all you prepared and hot. But
Right.
with this, the heater, like you're saying, it's already hot, so it just touches the heat zone of the nozzle, and it's
Right.
instantly. But it was insane, and you got to kind of wonder though because I they'll probably charge a lot of money for the actual nozzle exchanging bits. I think I think it was
Yeah.
like maybe it's
It's
like
$250 for the motion system and $35
I,
per nozzle.
okay, I didn't know if $35. I had that in my head, but I didn't know if that was like if that was released yet or if it was just rumors.
Which, by the
Okay,
way, a CHT nozzle is already $19 or $26 or something. So it's like nothing. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
I would have assumed that was a rumor because $35 just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem.
I mean, it's
It,
all
I
you
just
need is a nozzle and a MJF 3D printed part that's going to hold the nozzle to mount it on. Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
But what they're
Um,
doing is smart because they're making their money probably, I would guess. I don't know. I don't have any inside baseball. But they're making, I think, probably good money on the motion system. And then the selling point is $35 every time you want to add a new color. It's genius. Like think about what do the best hot ends today cost $150, $190. So to say $250 for the motion bits, like
oh yeah,
there's
oh
probably
yeah,
if I would assume there's a good margin in there, right? It's mostly MJF 3D printed parts. So yeah, make your margin upfront on the product and then make it easy, accessible, and you don't need to make a killing on each nozzle.
yeah. And so I mean, this is gonna be interesting for people though because you're doing it's not just changing it's not just changing out your tool head. You're changing out the
Right.
tool head. You are having to find a place to put these tools, and they have to
Right.
be along the along the y-axis. It has to be
Correct.
parallel to your tool. So like, there's going to be installation, there's going to be calibration there. It's going to so like
Yeah.
anyone that already has a machine, there's a chance that that's going to eat into your print volume.
Right.
So which is a small price to pay. I mean, if
Right.
you most people aren't even using that front part of their build plate typically,
Right.
but
Well,
it's
on the Vorons and a lot of the printers, you have room for a wiper, like on an SVO8. It's not actually 350. I mean, the build plate is 350 by 350, but the motion system's capable of like 360, 370. So
yeah. I mean, you have some wiggle room for sure, but
right,
anyway, so but yeah, at that point you're limited to how many of these nozzles can you stack along your
right,
x-axis, and okay, you just make a make a little bit of a wider printer. You could fit 3 more colors. Like,
By the way, I wonder, I mean, does it have to be on the y-axis? Because, you know, the way the tool changers work, like a proper tool changer, stealth changer, it goes up, picks it up. So theoretically on a Voron 2.4 or flying gantry style printer,
oh,
could you stack multiple rows of them and then just have the whole back be 25 of them, you know, and just with
yeah.
enough room? I wonder.
So he told me, he said it has to be on the y-axis, or yeah,
Okay.
he said it has to be on the y-axis frame. That, I mean, we're talking engineering here.
Yeah.
It's just as long as you're not gonna have your tool run into a part, you could lower your bed and go select a different tool if you have more uh
Yeah.
X frames. I mean, anything there is possible, right?
Yeah.
Um, but the, there's some calibration work that I think is going to be.
It's going to be
I
interesting for
don't
people.
know. I don't know how involved it is, but from what I heard, it sounded like it would be a little more involved than maybe someone was thinking. But once it's
Yeah,
done, it's done. As long as
that's
they don't
true.
move.
That's true.
So that was cool.
You've got some other inside baseball. You're sitting on a very
Uh,
exciting, interesting 2.5D printer. I don't know
okay.
what people know about it, but you've been teasing
Yeah.
these photos. Crazy.
Okay. So, AnkerMake, the company that had a Kickstarter that was live at the same time as Bamboo Lab, everything they showcased seemed to be like the best printer that was going to come to the market. Bamboo Lab came out; their technology was arguably better, probably not arguably, definitely better. It kind of just took AnkerMake and like washed them away. Well, that is like everyone kind of like forgot about them, and now they came out with this new product because their V6, it went by the wayside. V6 was supposed to be six filaments. Well, now they have a UV printer, full color. It uses CMYK and G, which is gloss,
Whoa.
and you can, yeah, so you can print. At the moment, you can print up to 5 millimeters in depth. So it's really 2.5D, 3D
Whoa.
texture, 2.5D. And I've done it. It works. It's easy. The software, you load in a photograph. All their tools are AI. So you load in, like, you could take a picture of your cat, pump it into their software. In about uh 10 seconds, it's fully texturized it can like pick out it can pick out the focus, and it can raise it. It's not just necessarily like a flat plane. You could have like different, they have a smoothness factor. So some of the print can be high, some of it can be low.
Jesus.
it's
It's
it's nuts.
crazy. I've seen the only inside baseball I have is I've seen the stuff you've sent me photos of, and at first I was like, okay, UV printer, like if I'm selling stuff on Etsy and I want to personalize it, that's cool. Like the same thing I talked about Laser Pecker for. But then you started showing me these like posters that people were making. Uh, it's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's pretty mind
So
blowing.
so that's so that's the thing. A lot of people. This machine is going to be $2,300. That's MSRP. It's not cheap, but if people can go drop 2 grand on a Bamboo H2D, I know there's disposable income available. And at first, you're like, what do I need a UV printer for? Because all that is doing is basically taking ink and depositing it on a surface that I didn't have it on and might not have needed it on to begin with. But some of the things that you can do are just absolutely truly remarkable, even if you don't have an Etsy shop. If you do, next level. But if you don't, I don't have the sample here to show, but I went into ChatGPT, I loaded in a photograph of a 3D printer, a photograph of a benchy, and I said, make a movie poster using these two elements, a 3D printer and a benchy. And then, what was it, 30 seconds later, I had this like super cinematic looking benchy being printed. I loaded it into the software. It was probably 60 seconds of processing time. The whole entire photograph is textured up. Now, this one's only textured up to a millimeter, but you could do up to 5 in certain other scenarios. But the full thing is textured, and it looks like I just purchased $150 metal poster. It's insane.
It's wild. How
Like,
durable is the surface once you've painted it? Because that's my concern.
how durable is it? I have tried to scratch it. Like, the
Wow.
short of taking like a pen or some kind of a metal nail and literally gouging it, which would just remove the actual material, like remove the, you
Wow.
know, whatever you printed on. Short of that, you can't remove it.
Like what?
It's
It's
just that
resin, right?
strong.
It's got to be like it's not like polyurethane or something.
So that's the thing. I don't actually know what the magic sauce is. It's called a UV ink. So
Okay.
I don't think it's resin. I think it's in the same family as resin, but
Okay.
when the print is done, it doesn't have to be washed. It's done,
Yeah.
and then you can just start touching it, right? Like, I I don't know if I would recommend like licking it, because I'm sure there's
Probably not.
residues left behind, but like,
Which makes me wonder. This is going to be the most shameless segue plug ever. It makes me wonder if this video's sponsor, PCBWay, has resin printing. Because PCBWay, as you guys know, is your one-stop shop for all kinds of fabrication and manufacturing. They have 3D printing, they have sheet metal fabrication, they have CNC machining, and as you can see with 3D printing, they do have laser cutting, SLS, PolyJet, FDM, DLP, stereolithography. I bet you they have something, maybe. They have injection molding, they have everything. So I bet you if they don't have it, they'll have it soon if you don't want to spend $2,000. But I actually use them mostly for their CNC machining. It's easy to get a quote. The products show up fast and always in super duper high quality. I love PCBWay. And they support this channel, so you guys should check them out. There's a link in the description, which will save you money. You order stuff from PCBWay, right?
I do, and I would PCBWay supports me, but after using the service one time, I recognize how good it actually is, and even if
Yep.
they didn't support me, I would still use them.
Totally.
Honestly.
My only complaint with them is the customs that I pay here in Israel, because it's usually
Oh,
very high. But
mm,
if you don't have to pay those very high customs or
yeah,
tariffs,
it's
it's a hot topic right now.
ooh.
You may want to check it out. What are you excited about right now? What other projects do you have coming up?
So I am working on probably one of my biggest projects so far. I actually just got well, I'm not going to get into that fine detail, but so we're big board gamers. So we have a closet. It's a full size walk-in closet, and all of our board games are stacked probably about chest height.
Jesus.
And to get yeah there's just no way to organize games short of getting even like bookshelves don't really work, so because they're not deep enough. So I am building a full board game shelf organizer setup.
Damn.
I'm printing it, and this is one of those situations where it's like, just because you can print it doesn't necessarily mean you should, but I'm going to because I'm a maker, and and I
I'll tell you
want
what I
to.
would have done. I'll tell you exactly how I would
Yeah.
have done it. You
Yep.
didn't ask, but you know that like thin, I don't know, it's like 1/8 inch ply. You can get it
Yes.
surfaced that they use for the back of cabinets.
Yep.
So I would just take a normal clothing closet, and I would space those with 3D printed holders for them, and then just
Fair.
make 1/8 inch ply every 2 or 3 inches all the way up.
Yeah, and so that's definitely. I feel like that something along that route might be like more. It would definitely be more cost effective, but it might be like more reasonable for some people, because this project, after I looked at the bill of materials, the cost is very high, and the print time is so much. If you're not someone like you or me, it's just you're like you're being gate kept. because I ordered 36 kilograms of plastic.
Jesus.
And the total number of printed parts is I can't remember. It was so many, it was multiple hundreds. Was it 200 and something, 250 parts, something like that? But I took every single model, I plugged it into a slicer, I got the estimated print time, I made a spreadsheet, I dumped it into Chat GPT, and I said, given all of these different print times, using one printer up to 10 printers, how many print days, or not print days, how many days are going to take to print this full setup? I said it was going to be 14 days if I use 7 printers and it never stops printing, which is obviously not reasonable. So
you don't have to do the whole shelf if you think about it. Board games come in a box. You could have just done little holders on the sides. No?
Well, so I didn't design this. This is it's called the Omni 3. It was actually a Kickstarter about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I love the guys behind the Omni 3. They've made some pretty cool projects. Actually, I think one of them is a YouTuber even.
Yeah. I'm blanking on his name, but
I think it's Austin, maybe.
Yes, Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful guys. With him. It's just, this is a product. It's like it usually for people that are doing this, they're probably going to make something like this tall.
Yeah.
To transport a game.
Right.
I'm using it as like the ultra extreme. And it's just, cool. It's like, because I can and it's fun. And when it's done, this will be better than putting, 1/8-inch ply in the closet. But customized colors, so it'll be two-tone. So like,
cool. How far along are you on the 14 print days?
So I was supposed to start printing sometime this week. I probably still will. Was it Wednesday or Thursday or something? I probably still will get it started. But just like organizing your filament and which models you're going to print on each roll is like crucially important, because if you just willy-nilly throw models at the printer, your filament's going to have like, it's going to have 150 grams left, but you're not going to have something you can print on that 150 grams. So like it's crucially important to know exactly which models you're going to print on every single spool of filament.
I mean, if you're using only 2 colors, I would say like, you just stack them and use continuous spool on one of your printers.
True. That is true. I've personally had really bad luck with that, because when the filament gets, when at the bottom of the spool, when the filament gets to that bit that's like but yeah, if I could cut those off, that would certainly be the most effective.
You make a valid point. I've had long prints fail because of that. I'm now pushing, I said this in a video, but I'm now pushing every single company I work with. Oh man, I just realized the defect in my multi-board as I'm looking at the wall. Oh, that drives me nuts. Oh, that pisses me off. Something's not vertical. Anyway, I'm telling them all, spend the extra money, smart filament sensors. We need to know when filament stops, especially as printers become more reliable. People are trusting. Like, I regularly scroll through the 3D printing channel and people are like, 82-hour print, wish me luck. Can you imagine having that fail in the middle because tangle? As someone said, filament tangle detection.
And the biggest issue with that is like, I'm in a position to where if I lose a print, I don't lose money, right? Because all of my material is sponsored. The people that watch me or us or whatever, like, that's a $20 roll of material that they spent money on. And if you lose, 75% of it, you just lost like 15 or 16 bucks and wasted all your time. And it's like, what the, like, yeah,
totally. And
for me,
smart filament sensors are like $15 retail. So I've been really pushing every company. I mean, most the better, more premium brands, I don't want to say better, but the more premium brands are already using them. But like,
oh yeah.
We were going to talk about the Elyarchi Alcheman. You've got one.
Oh.
Yours, let's preface this by saying that first off, two people can have different experience. It's the luck of the draw. Usually I'm the one who gets Uncle Jesse and I are the ones who gets the defect units. This time, for some reason, I got the one that worked, and it worked really well for a short time. But yours got basically went through an MMA championship league fight to get to your door.
Okay. All right. So, yes, first I do 100% recognize and totally will say this was this product was in its stage of it was not fully complete when they were shipped out. So
Totally.
there's totally a chance that it could be a good machine. I'm actually I'm slowly coming around to that. It's like it's day by day, things are different for me. But my machine is the biggest at the moment. It has been the biggest lemon of any printer that has been delivered to the studio. And I mean, I don't even know what the numbers are up to, 50 or more. Like,
Yeah.
So when I unboxed the package, if I was big enough to pick the whole thing up and shake it, it would have sounded like a baby's rattle.
Oh,
That's because there were probably 50 screws that were just loose in the bottom of the box, and
oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
this is bad. Like, this is really bad. That's a level of bad that might not be the shipper's fault. That might just be like they didn't use Loctite on any of these screws. Um, Hopefully that's changed. But come to find out,
So I'm not here to defend them. I did one sponsored video with them, and then we both agreed to part ways on the peak printing one. And I did a short about it, updating my audience. But I will say they emailed me, and after yours arrived, they emailed me and they were like, "Hey, some people theirs arrived broken. Ignore the unpacking process that's in there. We haven't printed new ones. Here's the new unpacking process." And my door was not even attached, and a lot of parts were detached, so it's now more assembly. But
okay,
yeah, they fixed what happened to yours. I think I had one thing that was funky because of shipping. I think it was the cable chain on the top. It had gotten a good bump, and so it came off. But mine arrived fine. But you could tell, by the way, that it was like hasty because as I said, the unboxing instructions were not yet printed, and B, the tape that they used to attach the doors and the panels left a residue. It wasn't like the tape that you use when this is going to be the final product. It was like packing tape. So I had to spend a lot of time like removing, and they're like, yeah, we know. We have to order the right tape. Anyway, go on.
So I was able to get one or two prints on the machine, and then it just stopped working. I would like it. Oh, actually, I'm gonna take us back. Before that, I couldn't even get the machine to power on because the machine would power on, but Clipper wouldn't connect. Ultimately, after like 5 days back and forth, of course, we have shifted time schedules, so like it's only 2 emails per night kind of thing. But after about 5 days, we finally found out there was a connector with a single pin that was not fully like I don't want to say plugged in, but the wire was cut too short or something, and so that was causing a connection issue. Well, we figured that out. I pushed it in and it wouldn't stay, so I hot glued it, and the printer would print. Well, once it would print, the quality on it was just absolutely atrocious. It was so bad. Turns out, and I just found this out last night. I had to not even message you about it. My filament was very wet, very wet. It was brand new right out of the box, so that has nothing to do with them at all.
Right.
Finally, last night I started getting good prints to come off of it. They're not as good as yours, but they're respectable.
Mine were very good for carbon filaments. As I said, I had some issues with ringing on ABS and ASA, and there were just artifacts. I mean, as people have pointed out, it's not meant to go fast.
No.
But my printer isn't running anymore. I killed it trying to print peak.
Oh yeah.
Well, what actually happened was like the silicone sock tore, that caused material to glob up, And then when it collided into something with a glob of PEEK, which is an extremely strong, rigid material, it just bent the nozzle and the heat break and all of it.
Yeah.
What's your read on them? Like, I want to be fair. I want to
Yeah.
get your read on
So
them. Like, do you have faith that everything's going to live up to what they claim?
So to kind of fast forward a lot of that because it's just kind of useless. My printer is functional now,
Right.
and I will say the representative that I've spoken with has instilled me with a ton of confidence, a
Right.
lot of confidence. And to be fair, their machine is on Kickstarter, and I could be
Right.
part of their ship sinking if I say bad stuff. So she has to be respectable, right?
True.
Um, so there is
True.
that. But they have spent tons of time trying to debug. I've probably sent them at least 10 different clippy.log files
Mm.
because of the constant failing. So I really do think I have hope. There's a lot of there's a lot of choices they made in this machine, like to print up to peak. You said your printer doesn't work anymore because some of the choices they made were not good,
Right.
right? I think they recognize that, and I don't think that they're gonna try and ship fire hazards to people's houses, right?
Right.
I That doesn't make sense, right? There's in my head when you do a Kickstarter product or project, there's two things. One, it's a full scam and you're not going to ship it, and you never have
Right.
intentions of shipping anything. Or two, you really are trying to do something correctly,
Right.
right?
Right.
They're there to build a business, not they're not there to build one printer, get a little bit of money, and then move on. They're there to build a
Sure.
business. So I
Yeah.
think they are going to do the right thing or attempt to.
I think they are too. I think you're right. Like, but this is the classic Kickstarter thing. And this is why I personally haven't backed to Kickstarter in years. Like, I bought these headphones that, these companies try to bite off more than they can chew. And it's like,
Hmm.
this company was like, we're doing something better than Bose and better than Logitech and better, that they haven't thought about this kind of noise cancellation and the drivers or this special orientation for comfort. And then, I was wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and naive, and this was
Oh
like 10
yeah.
years ago. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't really like the way my Bose fit. And then you realize, like, if these multi-billion dollar companies like Logitech and Bose haven't figured out how to do it, there might be a reason. And they eventually shipped this product. This was my last Kickstarter. They shipped it 3 years late. 3.
Oh, at least they did.
By then, I'd already bought a new pair of Bose. And by then, the AirPods had came out, so no one even wanted this product anymore. 3 years
Yeah.
late, worked terribly. I mean, they were awful.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and by the time they shipped, the only reason they were able to ship is because 2 years in, Logitech acquired them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's when I
So,
realized, like, no, you're not buying a product on Kickstarter. You really are investing in a new company, which is great. I've invested in a lot of companies and startups and VC stuff in my day, but it's like you know, if you're not prepared for that, maybe,
oh yeah. I mean,
settle for something that's
the,
on the market already.
I do think people get a little bit, and me as well. Not that like we get a little bit. I don't even know what the word is, but it's like, oh, you see something on Kickstarter, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna give them $600 or whatever. I'm not, whatever it is. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get something cool. Okay,
Yeah.
if you go to Costco or Walmart or whatever your store is, like, oh, I'm gonna give them $500. I'm gonna walk out with a TV, right? You get
Right.
something when you pay for it. Like Kickstarter is a way to fund a company's project typically.
Right.
And as much as I do hate to say it, like Elyarchi actually is using Kickstarter for the way that it is
Right.
supposed to be used.
As
And
opposed to the Anchors and Bamboo Labs of the
oh yeah,
world who are using it
and
as
I
a
hate
hype
that.
platform.
They're using it as a
I
hype
hate it and
platform
I don't.
and
I hate it and I don't, and I'll tell you why. I hate it because it's crowding out the little guys who are trying to fund their new startup. A lot of these companies, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, if let's take Bamboo Lab. I don't actually know the details of Bamboo Labs X1, but let's take like a new printer, a big printer company, or someone like Bamboo Lab, who, by the way, their first Kickstarter, they only did one, and they were a startup. Never mind that they'd already raised like $7 million or whatever, $20 million. They've raised more money than God. But never mind that fact, like no one had heard of them, so that's fair. But okay, take a company like that who is well-heeled, let's say, Anker, okay? We're getting into 3D printing. Really what they're saying is not, we need your money to scale up production. What they're saying is, we need you to vote with your wallet and let us know that this is worth it. And if it's worth it, we're going to shift more resources. We're going to hire more people. We're going to divert manufacturing resources and money, and we'll give you bonuses. But really what it is like, can you commit and show us that we're on to something?
Yeah.
And which is, I think, legitimate. What's not legitimate is when a company's like, we already have all of them in the warehouse. They're all manufactured. We just need you to push us over the, like, fuck you. Sorry, that's messed up. You know?
Yeah, that's so I agree with you from like a business perspective, 100%. Like why would I spin up a full production line and manufacture 5,000 units if people don't want it? Like I totally understand from a business side. I understand that and it doesn't even make me like super duper upset. It's just like, when there are smaller people like Elyarchi that they don't have the fun, I'm presuming, I have no idea, they don't have the funds, and they're trying to actually design and develop their product.
You've seen the printer; they don't have the funds.
Yeah,
okay. It's a startup. It's very much a startup.
Yeah, but so anyway, they are using Kickstarter's platform as like what I think it should be used for, and I do have hope. I do not like what they have done in the fact that they have tried to push this product before it was ready. I do not like that. I think if they thought it was ready, they could have shipped it out to influencers. But once they got feedback from the influencers, they knew it wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And what they should have done is they should have delayed the Kickstarter by 30 or 60 days, which I know you need money, but you should have delayed it, and you should have corrected some things, because that there's some nail in the coffins if what you get is what I got.
MLV says they should have known. I agree. They should have known. Jacob from Construct 3D apparently said this too. Like, they should have known if they'd read the silicone sock specs. They claimed to me that they printed a lot of PEEK on that machine and it worked. But yeah, like silicone cannot handle 450C. There are some red flags again for me, and it sounds like for you too. What it comes down to is it naivete or malice? Do they have good intentions, and are they going to do the right thing? Like, basically, do we trust them? We don't know them from Adam, but do we trust them? You guys don't have the benefit that Jerry and I do, where like I've talked to them, I've been in communication with them for months. They've paid me on time. They agreed. They didn't try to get me to do anything unethical. They did try and, massage things when things stopped working, but every company does that. Every company says, what it really comes down to for me is, do you believe you're dealing with a good faith actor who, when they say, you're right, this is not good, we will fix it, do you believe them? Okay?
Yeah.
And also, someone is pointing out they believe, it's malice, but and also, do we believe that it was malice or naivety? You gotta think it's naivety, because you would have to be really stupid to send someone like yourself or me a printer that is not going to work.
I know.
You got to be really dumb. If they really didn't know that things were going to fall apart when we started to print PEEK, I don't think they would have sent the printers out.
Yeah, especially someone like me, when you send this incredibly expensive machine overseas, air freight it, all of these things, heavy packaging, that's not cheap. The machine itself is not cheap. They did not expect this to happen. Like, no one says, oh, I want to go send it's probably $1,000 package to them. Or maybe not to them, but whatever. It's probably an expensive package. I want to send an expensive package to this guy that has so many 3D printers. He has so much experience. He knows how to use it, just so he can have a broken machine and then sink our ship. It has to be naive. And the whole thing about the silicone sock, that is carelessness. And carelessness is another that is a separate issue, which I definitely do not appreciate, because if you read the specs, you do know that it is not rated for this. Just because it can do it once or twice or 10 times does not mean that it can do it for 3 or 4 years.
You know what it reminds me of? I mean, it reminds me of two things. One, it reminds me of, the printers. FL Sun is notorious for this. They're like 1200 millimeters per second, but then you go in the profiles, it's 400 tops.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like shouldn't. The other thing is like I don't remember what cars they are. Maybe it's the Bugatti Veyron or something, where it's like you get a launch control, you need a special key to activate that launch control. And if you do it more than 4 times, they void your warranty. Because
really?
I don't remember what car this was, but it's like, a $300,000 to $1 million car, and they're like,
that's insane.
It can do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. It can't do it every day, and if you do it too many times, you're on your own. That's kind of what this feels like. Like, I just threw away. We were talking. Like, I just threw away. I have some Peak printed samples. The first few prints. Here we go. The first few prints were stunning, like shocking. I immediately uploaded a short, which is stupid of me. I was like, I can't believe it. It was actually like semi-crystalline. You can see the short. Perfect. And then, the next model that comes off the build plate is amorphous. And then it just went downhill from there. I ended up throwing away all the parts. There we go. It printed Peak, though.
There might be some design decisions that they need to make that increase their cost of manufacturing, which would increase their purchase price. Because, I mean, as you said earlier, right? Like, this is a machine that no one else has tackled before. If you desperately do want to tackle it, you need to do it in a way that's going to actually work, because you're balancing having low volumes of sales versus having so many sales, coming out ahead, and then your machine breaking, and then no one ever buying from you again. It's like, it's a complicated equation, but
totally. Can I just say, by the way, since no one's going to get that Peak video, this is amorphous Peak, meaning it's not properly printed, and it should be gold, not beige. Okay, so this should be much stronger than it is. This is like improperly printed Peak. This is a 1 centimeter by 4 millimeter piece. Cannot break it. I mean, that's how strong this shit is. And I don't want to brag, I'm pretty fucking strong. Okay, like I can deadlift like 120 kilos. I have a pretty good grip. Okay, I can't even break this.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And it's amorphous. Can you imagine how strong it is when it's properly crystalline?
Yeah, that's nuts.
And they did tell me towards the end, they were like, by the way, like, you should probably tell your audience that they need to, like, when we were still talking about doing the video and they were going to send me replacement parts, they were like, just make sure you tell your audience that they need to anneal. I was like, you just brought that. Anyway.
That's a level of a lot of people might not be interested in doing. If you can print that and it's that strong, yeah, it's fine. We're consumers here. We're not out here trying to print Peak for industry.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like, again, when we were weighing actually doing this video, I kind of I wrote the whole video, by the way, and then we scrapped it. Where I was like, guys, be real with yourselves, okay? This stuff weighs $1,000 a kilo. Exactly. Even if you have a printer that can print it perfectly, you're probably not gonna.
Having the advertising or the marketing that says we can print Peak is so much of a different realm than we can print at 1,000 millimeters per second, because like, just people have to acquire Peak. I looked it up. I didn't even know. I didn't spend nights and nights looking at it, but I don't even know where I could purchase it. And I live in the US where I have more opportunities for purchasing stuff than most people. And I don't know where I would purchase it.
You can't buy the eSun ePeak.
It is no you so you can only buy that if you from eSun directly if you put in a bulk order. That's the only way you can buy it from them.
That's
I
crazy.
know some people that said you can buy it at brick and mortar stores, but which one?
Yeah, I can't even imagine if I had to get my hands on this stuff. I know Igor from My Tech Fund was trying for months to get someone to sell him Ultim. It's the same deal, right? It's like when I was trying to buy parts for my industrial shredder, where it's like,
yeah,
I'm sure I could find you 100 places that have it, but you need to have a bulk account. You need to have. It's not even like we will not sell it to you. They're like, we'll sell it to you. The minimum order is a pallet.
Exactly.
No,
it's like
you could call it Matter Hackers maybe and get some of this stuff. No?
From
dude, I know who. I know who will sell you this stuff. 3DX Tech will sell you all this stuff.
And maybe it's a matter of like digging and looking, but it's like you don't have options. You don't have many options. Like, why would I print this? Like, so especially at such a high price. I mean, you go to print a Benchy, and your Benchy costs more than a metal 3D print. Like this.
Yeah. Okay. 3DX Tech will sell you Therma X Peak. But they're, by the way, one of the only ones. Like, I'm not trying to discredit what you said. They're one of the only ones who will sell you online. You can order. It's $158 for 250 grams. That's actually not even bad.
It's a decent price. The eSun stuff is definitely $1 a gram. So
yeah,
it's. So anyway, right? I think they tried to bite off more than they could chew, like you said. They needed to start out with a small printer just to get their feet wet, and then if they still wanted to, they could have done that. It still would have been an interesting idea, but at least they would have had the manufacturing experience, the packaging, shipping, all that others. Customer service.
I'm really hopeful that they do right, not just because I put out a sponsored video with them. But because I'm happy to see someone doing something a little different, you know what I mean? Like taking a different angle. Do I think the average consumer needs to be printing Peak? No, but it's half the price of a Creality K2, which is the printer I mostly use if I want to print PPS CF. Heated chamber. We all saw what happened with the Cheaty Plus 4. That thing actually burnt someone's house down, allegedly.
Yeah, insane.
So, it's nice to see someone else in that high temp thing. And I do think, look, like even if you're printing ABS, a heated chamber is going to help. And I think it's great. I'm not one of these like carbon fiber filament naysayers. Like, I think it's awesome. I also think it's really cool. You know me, I'm obsessed with recycling, and like I could sit and watch these YouTube videos about like some company in South Africa that's like recycling. I'm obsessed with this stuff, like upcycling. And one of the best ways to recycle automotive carbon fiber is 3D printing, because we don't give a shit about the color of it. We don't care about the length of the fibers. Like the big problem with recycling carbon fiber is, first off, you have to get the resin off, which is very hard. So you have to mechanically get it off, because chemically you can't get it off. You can't melt it off. And so you have to shred it off. And that kills the length of the carbon fibers. What's the only application where you want carbon fiber with shredded?
Yeah.
So I'm pro. I mean, obviously, if you're going to sand it, don't sand it. Wear PPF and all that stuff. But I'm super pro us using all this carbon fiber. You guys have no idea how much aerospace and automotive carbon fiber waste there is. So it's cool that we use it. Anyway, you and I talk about biting off more than we can chew. You and I you have a work day to start, and I have many projects. Jerry, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is great, and it went smoothly. No technical issues. It was wonderful.
What if I just?
It was wonderful.
All of a sudden, just froze on you, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And Jerry, I'll take us out, and we can debrief.
Thank you.
All right, my man. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infill Podcast. For show notes or links to anything mentioned in today's episode, visit thenextlayer.com. If you enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to leave us a review wherever you're listening, or click the like button to let us know. And consider subscribing to The Next Layer on YouTube so you can tune in live and participate in the next conversation. We'll see you on The Next Layer.